So like I said before, I interviewed multiple design agencies. So I wanted to understand, what is it that they do with the business stakeholders? How do they think when they approach problems, these sort of problems, to answer the problems for the business stakeholders, right? And so one thing I learned when I was pulling the slide together, design agencies love the color orange. It kind of shocked me when I was pulling the slide together, like, Jesus Christ, like all of these are orange. I had to actually go and get one of the design agencies. Eyesight Design, they had an orange logo, but I found a blue version just to kind of mix it up. But orange clearly is the new red, right, of the 21st century. So at any rate, so I talked to these agencies, and I had two questions for them. My first question for them was, how do you solve these new types of problems? Like, how do you think about addressing these sort of problems that the business is coming to you with? That was number one. Number two, I wanted to understand, how do you work with business process professionals and business architects when you're doing upfront design for new service or new products, right? And so some of these companies, very, very interesting interviews. For me, it was eye-opening. Actually, it was a little bit of a personal journey to kind of see how these guys work. It's very different from how I traditionally work, and probably most of us, in terms of problem solving. But they're doing some amazing things, like Zilver Innovation. They're actually helping Bertucci's open a new style of store. So they're actually designing a new offering for Bertucci's, not new pizza, a whole new store concept, right? And in my mind, I'm thinking these guys have to be working with business architects, process pros, IT in some way. And when I asked them this question, I said, so how do you work with IT? How do you work with the business architects and business process pros? And when I asked that question, I really asked that of all these guys. I could hear crickets chirping, right? There was no answer. One group that I spoke to, they shared with me, well, really, we try to avoid those types, right? And I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm an allergy now? Like, that's not good. Like, they need Zyrtec to stay away from me. But it did leave me with the sense, as I talked to each one of these agencies, of being in a school playground. If you go back to your school days, grammar school days, when you had two captains picking kickball teams, right? And so it reminded me of this picture, where the business is going out and saying, we need to do this very forward-leaning stuff, and they're picking teams. The business, CMO, line of business guys, they're picking teams, and business process professionals and business architects aren't getting picked for this forward-leaning conversation, these initial conversations around new concepts, new products, new services. And it got me thinking, what do we need to do as professionals to shift to be able to get picked on the team? So what are some things you think we might need to do to get picked on the kickball team? Maybe we need to kick the ball? I don't know. But what I found is the real difference in getting picked for the team centered on our thinking and being able to shift our thinking. And it took me a minute to really grok all of this and really bring it to you. And like I say, it was a personal journey for me because it changed the way I approach problem solving.